This presentation is on the aggregate supply curve, the AS curve. We've already looked at the shape of the AD curve and what causes it to shift. Now we're going to look at the shape of the aggregate supply curve. The aggregate supply curve represents the total output of the economy at different price levels. So it shows us how much the economy will produce as the price level in the economy changes. Here is a short-run aggregate supply curve. We see real output on the x-axis and general price level on the y-axis. And it shows that as the real output goes up, the price level will go up first slowly and then very quickly. We have to explain the shape of this short-run aggregate supply curve. We see that real output is increasing along the x-axis, and that at some point real output cannot increase anymore. Let's see what's happening in the real economy. In the short run, there is a fixed amount of factors of production. That is to say, these factors of production cannot be changed. That's why we call it the short run. We have a certain amount of land, a certain amount of labor, a certain amount of capital, and a certain amount of enterprise. And we can't get any more. So, as real output starts to increase in the short run, we use up these factors of production. And as we use them up, they become more costly because they become more scarce. For example, as we use up our labor, the workers realize that they are in short supply and they ask for higher wages. So as the labor is used up, wages go up. As the cost of the factors of production increases, the cost of production increases. And this pushes the prices of goods up. We know that this is called cost push inflation. So what we see in the aggregate supply curve is that as we increase our output, we start to use up the factors of production. Prices at first rise quite slowly. But as we use up more of our output, the factors of production become more scarce. And now prices start to rise more quickly. And they are driven up by the increasing cost of production. Eventually, the short-run aggregate supply curve becomes vertical. This means that we cannot go further to the right along the x-axis. We have reached what we call Y star, which is our maximum short-run output. Maximum short-run output. We are using all our factors of production. We can't produce any more. So this explains the general shape of the short-run aggregate supply curve. We see that price levels first of all rise slowly, and then they rise very quickly as we increase our output, and that there is a maximum short-run output which we label as Y star. This maximum short-run output means that we are using all our available factors of production. We should note that the short-run aggregate supply curve is sometimes shown as a vertical line, like this. And sometimes we only show the upward sloping part of the short-run aggregate supply curve, like this. But in general, it's preferable to show both the upward sloping parts and the vertical part in one short-run supply curve diagram. So this is the version we would recommend that you use. So overall, we have now explained the shape of the SRAS curve, the short-run aggregate supply curve. In the next presentation, we're going to see what causes this curve to shift to the right or shift to the left.